Good afternoon. My name is Tina Maiozzi, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about how genetics plays a role in type 2 diabetes. I recently had lunch with a friend who received a report from a home genetic testing company, and she seemed upset by the results. As they stated, she is predisposed to type 2 diabetes. Her initial response was, "I don't even eat sugary foods." I begin my response to her as follows. Type 2 diabetes, along with many other diseases, have a genetic basis for their development. Exploring this basis, and the fact that we get to explore this basis in these times, gives us a foundation for understanding how or where the disease began. But for type 2 diabetes, there are also lifestyle factors that can influence or increase the chances if there is already a predisposition of that disease. Type 2 diabetes has a combination of both environmental factors, such as maintaining a healthy weight, balanced diet, regular exercise, as well as a strong hereditary component. And obviously, if you have both genetic components and obesity or a sedentary lifestyle, you may be at higher risk for that disease. During reproduction, there are different patterns of inheritance. Just as hair and eye color differ, so does the presence of disease traits. Some diseases can be determined by just one single gene, while others can be determined by multiple genes. Diabetes is the product of multiple gene patterns and environmental or modifiable factors, as well as genetic factors, resulting in what's called polygenic traits or genes. The tricky part is that not everyone is affected the same way. So even someone with just environmental factors could be more susceptible, and this could be due to those inherited risks. All that being said, I can reassure you that type 2 diabetes is a very common disease. It affects millions of people worldwide and is rapidly on the incline due to the increased risk factors such as obesity, hypertension, heart disease. And as my friend, I am glad that it's just diabetes and not something less modifiable like cancer. So you may not be able to do much about changing your genes or the gene patterns, but you can definitely play your part to decrease your lifestyle risk factors. So that's a good thing. As far as eating sugary foods can play a role in type 2 diabetes. They can increase your risk for obesity as well as affect your liver function. So lots of sugar can have negative effects on your liver. Lots of sugar can also alter how your liver absorbs sugar without regulating intake. It also increases liver fats and decreases insulin sensitivity. When you affect insulin sensitivity, it affects how effectively your cells use glucose. Decreased insulin sensitivity can be from an overabundance of high glucose levels in the blood. Just like if you overexpose something, you eventually decrease the sensitivity. Take sunlight, for example. That first summer day when you go outside and your skin might be super sensitive to the sunlight, and you might burn more easily. And then by the end of summer, after you've had exposure, it's a little less likely that you'll burn. Therefore, you've decreased your sensitivity. So that's how sugar can affect insulin sensitivity. So now let's look at insulin resistance. Someone with excess body weight or obesity is more likely to have insulin resistance. The liver removes sugar from the blood and stores it as glycogen. When you have too much sugar all the time, your cells stop responding to the hormone insulin released from the pancreas, resulting in resistance. What happens is over time, your high sugar glucose levels plus high insulin production can decrease the pancreas. And what ends up happening is under producing insulin, leaving excess sugar in the blood. So you see, type 2 diabetes is multifaceted. There are different ways you can look at this new information you have regarding the predisposition that you have to this disease, but education is power. You now have the power of knowing how and what you can do to limit your risk factors, taking the steps to find out how your genetics play their role, and then continuing those steps to live a healthier lifestyle, empowering you to be able to make a difference, live longer, higher quality of life as my friend. Thank you.